Hi BookTube! I'm here today with my sort of halfway review of the Wheel of Time series. I say sort of because I got to book 6 before I decided I needed a little bit of break, and there's 14 books in the series. But I figured this would be a good point to stop and do a little bit of a review on it. So if you don't know, Wheel of Time is an epic fantasy series written by Robert Jordan. I'm listening to the audiobooks. They're narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Reading, and they're wonderful. If you're not going to watch the review, if you just want to read the books, definitely do the audiobooks. They're fantastic. So yes, I'm just going to jump right into it. So in regards to the plot, it's an epic fantasy. It's massively huge. There's huge world cultures, and there's this huge world with all this different stuff going on, and it's fantastic. We follow basically 5 main characters, and they start out in a small town, and their life gets thrown upside down when it's revealed that one of them is a reincarnation of the Dragon Reborn, who will do battle with the Dark One, and save all of humanity. So this character is Rand al'Thor. That's Rand al'Thor. I was listening to it in the beginning. I thought his name is Randall Thor, but it's not. Anyways, he's a male who can channel the One Power, and generally only females can channel the One Power, and these females are called the Aes Sedai. We do follow a few of the Aes Sedai, as side characters, but they aren't really main protagonists. It gets a little more complicated than that as characters become Aes Sedai and everything. But these Aes Sedai really try to control the world, and one of their main responsibilities, I guess, that they take on is to gentle or still males who can power. That means they cut off their access to the power. And that's because they believe that men who can power are eventually going to go insane and just kill everyone around them and run around out of control and be general, horrible people. So aside from Rand, we also follow his friends Matt Coffin and Perrin Ibarra, who each have things happen to them and develop their own kind of storylines. And then we follow again more of his friends, Egwene Elvire and Nynaeve Almira, as they decide to go from that small town and go on to study to become Aes Sedai, to learn how, because they discover they can access the One Power, and it's wonderful. Or not really, it's, questionable. And they all kind of navigate this suddenly, huge world, because, they come from this really small town. That's all they really know. They haven't really traveled much, and then all of a sudden they're going from one end of the country to the other and learning about all these different cultures, actually, being in charge of different cultures and all this kind of stuff. And there's sometimes very kind of like deathly characters that they get to interact with. I'm going to segue there into characters. It's very multi-perspective. We don't always just follow Rand. And the characters as well don't always have to do with Rand. In a lot of books in general, not just in fantasy, if you encounter kind of like that side character, that sidekick, it's only in relation to the main protagonist. In Wheel of Time, these characters are able to develop their own storyline, and I found myself actually wanting to hear more about one specific character. Like, screw the main character, I want to hear more about what happens to this guy. And it's really well done. I think there was one book where I think it was the 4th book, Rand, the main character, is barely in it. You're following all the other characters instead of him. And so they, really, I guess through 14 books you're able to do that. You're able to give these characters their own storyline in relation to themselves instead of to the main protagonist. What else can I say there? I just want to rant. I've really, because I'm listening to the audiobooks, I really have to pay close attention, because a lot of the character names are actually very quite similar. So you have Rand, Tam, Bran, and Lan as characters. Then you have Morghese and Moraine, Perrin, Meryn, and Varen. And Meryn and Varen are like Aes Sedai, so it's like, who's saying that one? Is this good or is this bad, or who's this person? It's like, I don't know. Wait, why is Perrin all of a sudden, you know, Perrin, a male character, doing this? That doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, I misheard it. And then there's Egwene, Elaine. That's really my only really nitpicking point in regards to the characters, is that it's just like, you know, just change the name a little. Anyways, the plot at this point is really quite involved, and that's not surprising considering that, you know, we're 6 books in, it's a 14-book series. It can get really convoluted and complex. And, you know, I can really actually see a lot of the influence that Wheel of Time has had on other works of fantasy. Wheel of Time, when was the first book? I think it was in the 80s sometime when the first book was released. And it was quite popular. I remember back in high school, it was, when I was in high school, it was quite a popular series at the time. And I can see a lot of the influence it has had on, say, like a Song of Ice and Fire series, in regards to like the cultures and everything, and even some of the place names are kind of quite similar. I found that, and a lot of the structures and everything I found were, I mean, Song of Ice and Fire is good, and it's a complete separate book, but you can see the influence that that A Wheel of Time has had on it. I really like the world building in Wheel of Time. It's very slow burn, I guess they call it. You kind of discover the cultures in the world and the politics along with the plot. Some things are, you know, explained to characters or some such, or taught to characters so that you can learn about it the same way. My favorite aspect of it is that you get to see everything from the global politics right down to municipal politics. So you go from like the world, countries, I guess provinces or whatever, and then the actual towns. You get to see all the different aspects of the political spectrum taking place in this world. It's really quite interesting. There are, you know, I guess we call them democratic societies, a lot of feudal-based societies, or royalty and all that kind of stuff, and all the different intrigues that come with everything, and it's quite interesting. What else can I say? I can't really comment too much about the writing because I did listen to it as an audiobook, so I'm not quite as aware of the style. It seems fine to me. I just really want to talk about the narrators. They're awesome. I think I said before their names are Michael Kramer and Kate Reading. They're a husband and wife team, and you can tell that they really collaborate a lot on this, and that this is really like as much their baby as it was Robert Jordan's and Brandon Sanderson's. I should have mentioned that Brandon Sanderson writes the later, I think he only writes the 14th, and he kind of helped write some of the other ones before that because Robert Jordan unfortunately passed away before he could finish this. So, like, for example, the accents and the intonations and the voices of certain characters, they kind of collaborate on them and work together. I really like there's 2 of them, because you do get male perspectives and you get female perspectives, and you get the female voice for the female perspectives and the male voice for the male perspectives, and all that kind of stuff. And they really, I think they're putting their own mark on it. They take their own kind of, I guess, their own reading of it into consideration when they're narrating. For example, like they slow down during slower scenes, or they speed up all of a sudden when there's action. And I find it really adds to the story. It makes it really enjoyable to listen to. I will tell you that they are incredibly long. near like audiobooks, but they are worth it. Don't like fast forward or skip them because you'll miss certain things. And I said, as with the names, you might hear Bran instead of Rand, and you'll be wondering why Bran is, you know, channeling or something. So yeah, that's my halfway views on Wheel of Time series. I'm looking forward to finishing the series and getting back into it, and just let me know if you've read this series and what you thought of it, and thank you for watching.